Let's make chocolate chip banana bread with cream cheese icing, Gina Young style. I hope you're having a good day. And if you're not, hopefully I can brighten up your day with this here recipe. How many of you love banana bread? You do. I know you do. But have you ever had it chocolate chip with cream cheese icing? This recipe is so much fun. Make sure you make enough, because whoever you feed it for, they're going to go absolutely wild over it. And it's so simple to make. Here's what you're going to need. You're going to need 3 large bananas. Now, preferably, I'm going to want your bananas to have those dark, you know how the rind gets really dark? That's going to give you the sweetest of bananas. But you see, mine's is not dark. Yes, you can make it and they're not dark, but preferably, if you have time to let these sit out for a while and get nice and dark, that's what I would hope you would use. But if not, these are fine too. You know they are. 1/2 cup of brown sugar. You're going to need 2 cups of all-purpose flour. You can sift it, but you don't have to. It's really up to, you know, how you're feeling, okay? You're going to need 1 cup of white granulated sugar and 2 large eggs. You're going to need some butter. Your butter can be salted or unsalted. We're going to melt it, okay, for this recipe. Of course, you're going to need just some chocolate chips. You can use any kind of chocolate chips you want to use. If you want to use a semi-sweet, today I'm using milk chocolate because that's what I had. Of course, you're going to need some vanilla extract and some walnuts. For those that would like to leave the nuts out, by all means you can. We just like the walnuts within that banana bread. You're going to need 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder, okay? You're also going to need 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda, all right? We will be making some cream cheese icing, and for that icing, of course, we're going to use some vanilla extract. We're going to be using some butter. We're going to be using cream cheese. Get the no-name brand, right? It tastes the exact same. And you're going to use a little bit of milk and some powdered sugar. Make sure your hands are clean. Let's make the most delicious banana bread you have ever tasted. You're going to need 2 of these, okay? If you want to make one, just use 1. Make sure your hands are clean. Let's have fun. First thing we're going to do is get started with all of our wet ingredients, okay? So we're going to take these 3 large bananas and we're going to mash them. You can just mash them with a fork or whatever you have. Just get them into like baby food consistency, okay? It's super easy. Here's how we're going to do that. I'm just going to take this masher that I would typically use for like ground meats or potatoes, and I'm going to do what I can to get it nice and mashed up just like so. In the meantime, go ahead and grab you a bowl, because all of our wet ingredients is going to go in here. Our dried ingredients are going to go in here, and eventually we'll be mixing the 2 together. So now we're going to mix up all of our wet ingredients. As you can see, I've taken 1 stick of butter, any kind of butter you want to use, salted or unsalted. If you're using salted butter, you don't have to put a pinch or 2 of salt in there. Okay, if it's unsalted, put just some salt in there, because the salt really balances out all the ingredients. So this is hot, and you don't want to take these eggs and put it into the butter, because you'll create scrambled eggs. So just let it cool down for a minute. But in the meantime, we can add the other wet ingredients. Did you know that sugar is considered a wet ingredient? There's 1 cup of white granulated sugar because it dissolves, right? The flour's not going to do that, right? Okay, the flour's not going to liquefy just like this would. Okay, so that's 1 cup of white sugar. This is 1/2 cup of brown sugar, and make sure you pack it into the measuring cup so you can always have the right measurements, okay? All right, lovely. So let's go ahead. Let me grab a fork here, and we'll mix these ingredients together, and then we'll put our bananas in, okay? And then the eggs will go in. By the time we put those eggs in, this sugar and the bananas would have cooled the butter down just perfectly. You're going to see when you watch this video is it's so easy to make this. Now, for those who don't want to put milk chocolate chips in it, you can completely leave that out. I'm going to put some vanilla extract in there, and I never measure it. I just measure that with my heart because it's so delicious, right? And so now here comes those bananas, 3 large bananas that we mashed up as much as we could. All right, lovely. And then we're going to introduce our 2 large eggs. All right, I emphasize 2 because I asked my son to get the measurements together for me today. And I'm glad I looked at it because he had 3 eggs. He would have messed up the whole recipe. But it's okay, we got 2 now. Let's mix those up. Really mix those eggs in there. Of course, you're going to see some like chunks of the banana, and that's just fine. If you have a much riper banana, then you're not going to have those chunks. But it never bothers me. So now let's go ahead and get started on our dried ingredients, okay? 2 cups of flour, sifted if you want. You don't have to. Just level it off and make sure that measurement is correct once again. I'm going in with some cinnamon on purpose. I'm putting a whole lot because I want that flavor. I want that warm flavor like the holidays, right? If you like allspice, get you some in there. If you don't have allspice, but you have Chinese 5-spice like I do, put you some in there. It tastes just like allspice. Lovely. Oh, I wish y'all could smell it right now. Are you kidding me? A 1/2 teaspoon of baking powder. And see this right here, that little lip right there, that's to level your measurement off to make sure you got the right measurement, right? There is, let me make sure, 1/2 teaspoon, okay? And then we're gonna go in with a 1/2 teaspoon of baking soda. All right, same thing, measure it off using the box. And then I'm going to tell you something interesting about the nuts that we're going to use when I come back. So now I want to talk about the walnuts. You don't have to use them if you don't want to. And guess what? If you wanted to, you can use a pecan. Put a pecan in here or your favorite nut. Okay? So now, if they are halved, just halved, and not crushed, you're definitely going to want to chop them a few times to make them smaller pieces. So here's what's interesting. If you were to take these nuts and put them into the batter after it's really wet and pourable, where we're getting ready to pour it into the pan, these would soak to the bottom of your banana bread. So what do you do to make them light, airy, and fluffy to where they're floating all through the banana bread? What you're going to do is you're going to put them in to this dried mixture, and then they're going to be floating all through the banana bread, just like you want. Okay, so let's go ahead and do that. Just like so. Get them nice and coated, and in the meantime, we're mixing all these dried ingredients together. I'm going to go ahead and mix that pinch or 2 of salt in there. It's not enough to make it salty. It just really balances out things, okay? Just like this. You have all your dried ingredients well incorporated. Let's go ahead and take those wet ingredients, put them right in with the dried, and get everything out of that bowl. We don't want nothing left in this bowl. I'm going to use just a handheld mixer to mix everything together, and then I want to show you the 2 pans that I'll be using. We're going to oil the pans, grease them up really good, and then we're going to flour them to make sure that this comes out of the pan when, it's done. Go ahead and get everything nice and mixed up. Go ahead and dust it with that flour, and here's what I do. So you just kind of shake it, okay, to where everything is nice and coated, and that extra flour, just toss it, There we go. Now that we have our pans nice and lightly oiled and dusted with flour, you could even use a cocoa powder. I've seen people baking cakes, and instead of using flour to coat the pan, they coat it with cocoa powder, and it doesn't come off with a little bit of flour on it. I thought that was really interesting. So now, when it comes to your chocolate chip morsels, how much do you want to put in? I'm putting a nice amount in. Maybe a little over a 1/2 cup. That's perfect. But you're going to fold it in. Okay, so here we go. Once you have put the chocolate morsels in and you've kind of folded it into the batter, don't fill this all the way up. If you fill this all the way up, it will totally explode. Not explode, but over, what's it called? It'll overdo. What is, fill in the word. I don't know what the word is that I'm looking for, but you really go halfway up the pan. Okay, so that's why I like to use 2 pans. Let's bring this one over here. And into the oven, 350. Done. We're getting ready to make some cream cheese icing, Gina style. It's so easy. You cannot mess up on cream cheese icing. To me, personally, cream cheese icing is one of the best icings that you can have. It's so good. It's kind of like a buttercream icing, but it's cream cheese, and it is not too sweet. It's just perfect. So we're going to go ahead and put 2 of these whole 8-ounce packages of cream cheese right into my stand-up mixer if I can get it in there. And get that second cream cheese in there. Just like this. I'm making a big batch because I love cream cheese icing, and there's always something to put it on, even if we put it on some shortbread cookies, right? So now you have to cream your 2 sticks of butter, your 2 8-ounces of cream cheese together. You can use a stand-up a handheld mixer like we just previously used. You don't have to have one of these, but we got to mix these up until it gets nice, airy, and fluffy. It's nice, light, and fluffy, and it looks like that. Now we can start to put all our other ingredients in. Add in our vanilla extract as much as you want, you know. All right, so now the difference is going to be the color. Because I'm using a clear color vanilla extract, it's not going to change this color. If you use the brown, of course, it'll give it a little tint to it, okay? I'm going to put that pinch of salt in, not a whole lot, just a little bit. Have you some milk on the side because you're going to need it. So now the measurement for the powdered sugar is about 3 to 4 cups. And this bag is always about 3 cups, okay? So let's put a little bit in until it's nice and creamy like you want it. Here's the thing, I'm going to be honest with you. Put a little bit in at a time and mix, and keep mixing until you got frosting consistency. It is. I know. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me? This really makes me want to make one of my favorite cookies, which is a sugar cookie. Out of all of the cookies in the world, my favorite cookie is a homemade sugar cookie. Oh, absolutely it is. And then put this icing on top of it. Oh, are you kidding me? With a glass of milk. All right, look at that. Lovely. I'm going to leave this because I think my cameraman wants some of this. So how easy was that? And like I said, make sure you're using just a splash or 2 of the milk. You don't have to use a whole bunch. Really what the milk is for is just to make it that consistency that we're looking for. Because before you put the milk in, it's really nice and tight. You know, you put that powdered sugar in with the cream cheese and the butter, it's real tight. But you put that splash or 2 in milk in, you get the perfect consistency. Let me show you something real quick. I just wanted you to see the consistency. Oh my goodness. Look at how lovely it is. It's beautiful. The whole house smells absolutely amazing. It's super important that you let this cool down. If you don't, your icing will melt. You cannot put this icing on this while it's even warm. So in the next clip when I come back, this would have cooled down. We're going to slather this all on top, and then we put just a couple chocolate chips on top. I know. It's cooled down. Now it's the perfect time. Slather on the icing on top. You're not going to do the sides, just a nice heaping on top. Let's go ahead. We're going to put as many or as least of the chocolate chips right on. Just a little bit is fine for me. It's really just for decoration, but it gives a great taste too. Keep in mind that we put those chocolate chips in the middle. Watch this. This is for you, yes. And guess what? You're invited. You bet you are. Oh, crispy on the outside. Ooh, it's so soft once you get in there. I'm about to show you. Oh my goodness. Can everybody see? Can you see? Can you see? Look at that. Oh yeah, you're coming over for it. Come on. This is just for you. Let me show you something. I know. Thank me later. Taste. You want to taste? I'm about to give you some. You know I am. Are you kidding me? I do this for you. Oh. Yes, it's so soft. Oh my goodness. All right, let me get a little bit more of that. Oh, take a bite. Oh, That right there, good stuff.